Welcome back to They Did What, your source for the internet's craziest and most entertaining stories, where I go over them, analyze them, and on occasion, make fun of them. Today, I'm going to go over a story titled, "My Ex Ruined an 8-Year Relationship for a 4-Month Affair, and Now She Regrets It." This is about a guy. He is, like he said, been with his woman for about 8 years, and lo and behold, one day he discovers, he sees something on her phone that, guess what, she's having an affair. And as you can imagine, he's really brokenhearted about this and just snaps. And it's warranted. But you're going to see here, the dude that she's having the affair with, she's convinced that A, she's in love with him and he's in love with her, and she's going to be the mother of his kids and get married and all that. But it turns out, you're going to see here, this guy is just a wealthy playboy that just hooks up left and right and then kicks him to the curb. And you're going to see here, guys, there are definitely red flags early on to show you that this relationship was already on a downward spiral. But this guy, he obviously ignored reality. But you're going to see here, guys, ultimately, karma comes back to bite her. And that's a nice thing to hear. But this guy, it's sad because he's really hurt and destroyed. There's a lot of guys out there that have been burned like this. So it's very important to remember, guys, always pay attention to the red flags, pay attention to what's going on. And because a lot of people they want things to be a certain way, but they really aren't, and ignore the signs. But you'll see, karma comes back. And by the way, this guy, he is going to get an award for how many times he uses the F word in this article. He makes Tony Soprano sound like an angel in compared to how much this guy says the F word here. If you did a drinking game on how many times he did the F word, you guys would be completely trashed by the end of this video. So, it starts off, he says, "My cheating fiancé thought she got a golden ticket by her rich affair partner, and turned out he is a playboy. The first red flag is when I proposed to her on August 22nd, 2020. We were on our 8-year anniversary, riding a Ferris wheel into the night sky, surrounded by stars and beautiful lights. She never gave me an answer. Not a no, not a yes, just silence. I thought she just had trouble processing what I did, but the truth was there was something more dark going on, and she was too cowardly to tell me." Yeah, a guy proposes to his girlfriend after 8 years. 8 years, I might add, and she's not crying or happy or hugging him and yes, 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 whatever. That tells everything you need to know. Seriously. But the guy, okay, chose to... his gut told him what was going on, something was wrong, but he didn't listen to it. It goes on. Fast forward to the end of November, when she told me that she needed to cover for a coworker whose family died and we wouldn't be able to spend her day off together. It was right after she was happily texting someone and hit her phone when I walked by. Weird as hell. Whoever she was talking to, she didn't want me to know, because I saw she was deleting texts right before she turned the phone away. I didn't announce my suspicion. More red flags. The phone, it's amazing. Everything you need to know is on somebody's phone. She said, "I'm going to work tomorrow to cover for someone. Someone died in her family, and she's never going to have a chance to go to the funeral if she misses it that day. I'll do laundry before that too." Understandable. She was going to have a busy day off, but the vibes warned me something was wrong. Listen to your gut. Then comes Wednesday, December 2nd, 2020. She packed up laundry and was super excited to leave the house. "Bye, love. I'm going to go do laundry, then head off to work." "You can stay home." I insisted on going. She fought against it. "But I know you don't like doing laundry. Why not just stay here?" And I told her I wanted to help out. She didn't seem very pleased, but we left the house together. She stopped at a gas station to grab quarters, and she left her phone in the car with me while music played. Then she got a text that interrupted the music. I checked the phone, and I noticed another man's name. I quickly opened the message log, and I read her last message. And she said this: "I'm really sorry, but I can't have you-know-what with you today. Kyle came along to do the laundry, and it's in the way. I think he suspects something." Whew. Right there, flat out, she said it. I can't have you-know-what with you. You-know-what is code. You gotta behave, you're on YouTube. Poor bastard. Oh, man. I went livid when she came back. She realized she was caught. She sat in the driver's seat saying absolutely nothing, while my unbridled fury erupted at the discovery. I began smashing the dashboard. I took my box of drive-thru chicken and smashed it as well. Dude, don't destroy the chicken. Come on. I kicked, I cussed, I called her a traitorous, backstabbing, cheating C-U-N-T. I yelled F you at her. I told her I hated her. I flipped her off to her face, and stormed away yelling at her. I hope he was effing worth it as I slammed the door as hard as I could. I sent hateful, angry texts to her. I've never done that before. It's the first time I ever told someone that I love them, that they were a cunt. A lot of people, if they read that text, would probably react in a similar way. Some people were like, oh, you should never use that word, blah, 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 blah. Well, believe me, there are times when it is warranted. After I had time to calm down at the apartment, she came crawling back. I confronted her and demanded the truth. She looked down at the ground and stayed silent, mustering the courage to stop being a lying coward for once. She cheated because she wasn't in love with me anymore. She fell out of love with me a year ago due to her needs not being met, but never told me this and pretended nothing was wrong. That's a very common thing. The woman will stay with the guy, even though she's done with him, until she has a backup in place. It's just break up with the dude and move on. But a lot cannot be alone. And not to mention the fact that probably she's benefiting from his resources. Let's be honest here. So that she'd been cheating on me with him in secret for 4 months, including around the time we had our anniversary. So that she's in love with him and wants to start a family with him, and that he is falling for her. She was also still seeing him, but didn't want to break up with me until after Christmas. Oh, how nice. So basically, I was still paying for the rent of some girl who didn't love me for an entire year. A whole year. God, that's going to have it. I don't care how tough you are. You're going to look back in just every moment, and you're going to look at how she was acting and this, and this. That sucks. This poor guy. And once she was done with me after Christmas, she would move on to her secret man after she was done using me. Were the happy and good times we were experiencing together the whole year a lie? Why would she lie? How many of her kisses were fake? Her hugs, her cute demands for affection, our laughter, or our sex? Us holding each other in bed and being happy, we weren't spending it alone. How much of it all was a farce to keep me there helping her with the bills? That's what I was thinking. Hearing this all at once broke me. It broke me so bad she started crying too. In her mind, she believed I would never find out her secret plot to replace me with a rebound, but I did. She had no idea how to handle this confrontation. She buckled and apologized profusely, wishing she never did this to me. Hey, too late, honey. The dirty deed is done. Well, there were many dirty deeds she was doing. But the damage was already done. She gave into lust and had an affair. She fell in love with a man who doesn't even spend enough time with her. She is smitten by someone who is just using her for sex, but convinced her that they were going to start a family together. She is, as my supportive best friend told me, a effing retard. She threw away our relationship for a fantasy the other man crafted, and now she was trying to rationalize her decisions. Telling me she fell out of love with me for a long time, that everything that I lacked, he had. Oh, that's real nice. He bragged about his money and his house, and she got sucked in, totally ignoring the fact that he doesn't put any effort into regularly being with her, and is seeing other girls too. They're not exclusive at all. Classic bad boy. You know, the mysterious challenge that she has to work to get. And I guarantee this guy was trying to be exclusive with her and spending more time with her. She'd lose interest. It's amazing how it works. That story is over and over and over again. It is too late, though. She already cheated. She already lied. She already got caught trying to use me and then dump me at the end of the year. So I ended it with her. And every day since, there has been a catastrophic storm of self-hatred, fighting my desires for revenge, ending my life thoughts, resisting the urge to try and make it up with her, and breaking my obsession to her. Thankfully, a mutual friend I told realized how badly I was hurting, and told me that staying in the same apartment with my ex only opens the wounds even more. Yeah, he's got to get out. Either she gets out of there, or he gets out of there, and get rid of all the stuff that reminds him of her. That staying there won't fix anything, and it actually just prolongs our suffering. I wanted to get in the way. I wanted to get in the way of her and her secret man to stay there and try to rekindle something, but we couldn't be the same. The truth was there, and our friendly, loving activities have been permanently poisoned. I can't cuddle with a girl who doesn't love me. I can't kiss a girl who made a B job to another man. I can't say I love you, have a good day to her anymore. I had hatred and vengeance boiling in my blood and festering into every memory. So I packed up all my stuff without telling her and had her drop me off at a friend's house. Good, get out of there. Now you need to get your own car because it sounds like she has the transportation. She offered me a keychain so I could remember the good times. A keychain? Wow, that's big of her. I rejected it. I told her I don't want anything to remind me of a girl who doesn't love me. And she choked up, walked back to the driver's seat, and drove away. And since then, I've never messaged her, never reached out to her, and I'm making a deliberate effort to never look her up on social media accounts. Good. Get everything that reminds you of her away. Off your phone, off your computer, anything. And you're going to stumble upon stuff in your belongings that's hers. Get rid of it. And definitely block her and probably her. I'd just stay off social media altogether. Even her friends, seeing things pop up. It's just going to torture you. But this guy will get over it, but it's going to take time. He says, my friend still talks to her and tells her that tells me she's falling apart. That me not being around the house is effing with her. That thinking about all the good times and memories hurts her, and that her secret man may have all the money and attractive qualities, vehicles, and showers her with validation and compliments that make her want to F him, but everything else I did stop being fulfilled. Oh, poor her. The small important things that didn't make her feel alone. The gifts, the reassurance, going out eating, enjoying birds at the park, playing with our pet rabbit, drawing cute stuff for her. Her secret man does nothing of that. He just calls her up when he is craving her mouth and body, but nothing more than that. Their honeymoon phase is ending, the excitement and joy are wearing off, and the fantasy is falling apart. That's what it was. That's all it was. And again, she could have just broken up with this guy and saved him a whole lot of time and money and suffering, but she didn't. She's selfish. So she's getting what she deserves. But my heart is still broken. The relationship is still ruined. She still chose him over me. Even if lust compelled her to think that she fell out of love with me a year ago, she didn't want to spend the rest of her life with me. She still said that. She can't rationalize something this bad. She should have told me something was wrong if she was that unhappy. I agree. Unfortunately, it's so common that women do this. And I feel bad for this guy, but you know what? The guy should focus on himself, getting his life together, getting him together. And if he's a relationship type of guy, if he can still do this, one day, perhaps, after a lot of screening and bettering himself and paying attention to the red flags, he might be a chick. Because there are some good ones out there, even in today's world, but they're extremely rare. I'm trying to accept that there is no going back. Trying to remind myself it wasn't my fault. I still catch myself trying to fix this relationship, trying to go back to her, tell her how much I still love her, and want to do anything to fix that was broken. No, don't do this. But that is the absolute opposition of what I should do. She gave up on the relationship 4 months before this. It is her responsibility to apologize for this horrendous act against me and beg for me back. Sounds like he's actually kind of contemplating getting back with her. I mean, the worst thing he could do. Once a cheater, always a cheater. After all this, she'd never respect him. You want to be with a girl that cherishes you, wants to be with you, is loyal. When he proposed to her on that Ferris wheel, she should have been crying and hugging him and all that. No, she didn't care. But this guy obviously doesn't think highly of himself, otherwise he wouldn't tolerate this stuff. But 8 years is a long time with anybody, so it has an impact. But she lied to me and decided to F me in the worst possible way. And it might have come true if it wasn't for the vibes I got. This mysterious sense told me to pay attention to a very minute detail, which helped me unravel this deceitful scheme and saved me before I got used for the last cent and was flushed out of the apartment, broke and alone. Have you ever gotten a vibe like this? When have you been warned out of the blue that something was seriously wrong with your relationship? Well, yes, I've gotten vibes like this in my life, and I've learned to trust them. And I teach this all the time, my other channel especially, that you always got to pay attention to the red flags and trust your gut. Your gut is like a superpower. If your gut's telling you something's wrong and you're feeling it here, listen to it. And I'm sure many of you guys watching this had experience of this, and you didn't listen to your gut, and then you paid the price. So always pay attention to your gut. And by the way, I'm doing a bunch of videos today because I'm going on vacation this week. And I obviously read another one that had the author saying the F word a lot. So my bad for that, because obviously he said the F word a lot in here, but not as much as I thought it was. I was thinking of a different article. My bad. But anyhow, best thing this guy could do is stay the hell away from her, move on, shank it. She's not the one. And that's that. But this is what they do. One of the biggest lessons of the story is that women will find a backup plan, a replacement. And then once everything's cool, then they'll leave you. So always pay attention to the red flags, seeing what's going on. And that way then, you don't go through something like this drawn out year that she obviously wasn't in love with him, and then the 4 months she was hooking up with the other dude. But you know what? Karma's a bitch, because that guy's obviously a playboy. It was obviously running its course. And so she's going to be alone, and I guarantee you she'll be begging for this guy back. Mark my words. I hope he just learns and has good sense not to take her back. So anyhow, guys, that is it for today. Be sure to comment down below. Let me know what you think about this. Let me know, guys, if you've ever been in a situation like this before. Something like this. She broke out, she found out she was cheating, or she broke up with you, and guess what? She wasn't feeling it for like a long time, or she had somebody on the side. Maybe hard to talk about, but comment about it. It could help somebody out. And be sure to like the video, share it with your friends, and subscribe. And I'll catch you next time.